on the island of Lone Palm, where the tourists have some fun. But the citizens there say you can't stay here year-round because of something weird. And then we cut to Marie, who receives a letter telling her to go see her mother. You see, her remains are in the cemetery in Lone Palm. So a trip is hatched by George and Marie to travel from New York City. A trip where they have to travel 2 days down from NYC to Florida. And they are bookended by the Pacific and Atlantic on this trip. But the bridgeman interrupts it and says, I can't let you in, it's Offseason, which is a Shudder exclusive, written and directed by Michael Keating, not Michael Keaton. Get that name out of your mouth, even though both obviously deserve the careers that they had. But in all honesty, it's different spelling, so we have to remember that shit. But nevertheless, Michael Keating has directed movies such as Pod, Carnage Park, Psychopaths, as well as a movie that I really enjoyed called Darling. It came out in 2015, and I probably should go back and review that at some point. But when I saw that he did that, and I started watching this, I was like, okay, yeah, I can definitely tell it's from the director of Darling. And I mean that with respect. I remember enjoying the movie, though it was obscure and weird. It had a central story that was bizarre, but about a woman's descent into madness. And the best way I can describe this movie before getting into spoilers would be essentially Darling mixed with a movie. Remember a movie called Dagon, or Dagon, depending on how you pronounce it, Dagon? Yeah, that was kind of Lovecraft inspired. That's basically the best way I can describe this movie. Okay, that might actually have spoiled things if you have seen that movie, but nevertheless, the story basically involves, wait for it, a woman named Marie, I know, shocking considering the intro, played by Jocelyn Donahue, who is fucking gorgeous, by the way. She was in Dr. I Feel Asleep. Good old bad translations in old games. Good thing bad translations don't happen, with any, form of media anymore. Not at all. Joe Swanberg is also in this as her on-again, off-again love interest, George. He was Sam, who made the pants too long in the second honeymoon short in the original VHS. If you remember that movie and you remember him, then you have an idea. There's also a few other people, and yep, it's set in the town, the very, small town, small ocean tourist town of Lone Palm, Florida. And basically, weird shit starts happening once Marie and George get there. Even though the bridgeman basically warns them, well, hey, I can't let you through because it's off-season. People don't go there. We close the island. Okay, quick question. How does everybody get their stuff there? Oh, we find out a little bit later. If you can't see where this story's going as to why an island would be closed off during the off-season, I can't really help you. But basically, Marie receives a letter. She took care of her mother, but was a bit estranged from her mother, who was an actress. And her remains are on this island, and she goes with George, and they go, and almost immediately weird shit starts happening. The citizens are acting strange. There's one particular guy named Henry that seems like he'll try to help, but takes a particular interest in Marie. To be fair, looking at Jocelyn Donahue, I don't fucking blame him. She is beautiful. But nevertheless, it seems like he has some kind of tie to this, and what the hell could be going on. Then the movie gets really goddamn weird when it becomes obvious it's during a tropical storm or some kind of storm, and being Florida, trees go down and everything. It's amazing if Florida has any trees left, quite frankly. And then once weird shit starts happening, there's a car crash, and then the real strange stuff happens. So yeah, this movie's really bizarre and does have almost a bit of a Lovecraft-inspired feel to it. But Michael Keating understands how to do subtlety, even if it treads familiar ground, and it does tread familiar ground. That is really my one big issue with this. It tries to act like it's something shocking, and it really wasn't that shocking. But that being said, the performances work well here. Jocelyn Donahue essentially has to be the central performance here. Swanberg playing George, he's not bad, but I will say, a bit of a spoiler, he's not in the movie very long, since I just mentioned the central performance. And from there, everybody just acts weird, and then we get a lot of fog, a lot of weird, music cues, and a lot of darkness, because the island is not in the sun, and these tourists are not there, and anyone there is not having fun. Enough of a reference of that. Terrible rendition of that Weezer Island in the Sun song, by the way. Nevertheless, Marie has to figure out this mystery, try to not rewrite history, DuckTales, woohoo. And it just gets really, really bizarre after that. Really fucked up and weird and everything, and it becomes very obvious that there's some sinister shit going on this island. So yeah, the movie is really bizarre and weird, but it does, again, tread familiar ground. It kind of has that weird balance, but it does hit more than it misses. And I definitely do recommend that you guys check this out. It is on Shudder. I'm not sponsored by Shudder, but I recommend you guys get it. Either get Shudder or get AMC Plus. It has Shudder bundled in. It's well worth it. Shudder has some great stuff, has some stuff I haven't necessarily had the interest to watch, but as a horror movie fan, if you're like me, and I know I am, then you're going to enjoy a channel like Shudder. That's enough of a non-sponsored plug. This is quite good, even if it ends with, oh wow, that's not so very shocking, in all honesty. But to get there, they do some good tension building, and it is very good and atmospheric with great cinematography and just some good performances, even if it's at times a little out there while being a little bit too familiar. So now I'm going to get into spoilers. Spoilers won't take very long though, because I recommend you guys check this out. 3, 2, 1. Wait. Definitely check this movie out, as if I didn't say that before. Spoilers! Aha, got you with the hook there. So yeah, basically her mother talked about how talked to her in the last days of her life, how basically she was tied to the island and everything, and that she escaped from there, but that it turns out the citizens of this island, the original settlers, had to make a deal with a demon that crawled out of the sea. Or a man that crawled out of the sea. I wonder who it could be. All hail Lord Cthulhu? Yeah, pretty obvious it's Lord Cthulhu. Again, Lovecraftian. But it's also broken up into chapters, and the chapters are like, so, Lone Palm, Sand Trap, which is a reference to the restaurant, Ava's Dream, or Ava, The Damned, and then we get Last Man Out and Heaven. And then we get an epilogue. Because somewhere behind that tree, there's a scene happening. Non-MST3K fans have no idea what I'm talking about. So yeah, her and George are trying to figure out answers and stuff like that, travel along these roads. This town reminded me of Ocean Shores, just slightly less depressing. If anybody has been to Ocean Shores, Washington, then you get it. It's really fucking weird and very much like trapped in the 50s. In fact, for Washington citizens, this may pop you. Go past the very beginning of Aberdeen, going west, and then you go right back to the 1950s. In a lot of sense, not just because of the architecture. So, the people of this island made a pact, and essentially there is a creature that lives off the essence of the tourists and anybody that dares to stay there during the off-season. And also these ghosts to populate this whole thing, like Mrs. Emily, who is the flower shop owner, and clearly has some ties to the island as well. And we get some lines that are like tense, like, oh, you should leave, you shouldn't have come here, should have listened to the bridge man, not done that, because once they find the graves obscured, instead of immediately leaving, they tried to find the cemetery owner, the caretaker, and it didn't work. Basically, the mother during this dream sequence says, it's quite beautiful, her mother, is having these dream sequences, and then she has died. These people that are reading the will are saying, oh, the island's quite beautiful. You'll see, Marie. Yeah, that's not creepy at all. No, lawyers can be creepy. And also there are some points where this basically was like Silent Island Hill. So we need Pyramid Head wandering around there. And as more weird shit happens, we get more flashbacks, we get more backstory. It becomes obvious that Marie's mom did something wrong. What she did, she was tied to that island and she left. She somehow managed to escape and have a hell of a movie career while everybody else was left behind. So now Marie has to pay for it because of the pact going on. And then, we just get more strange stuff going on. And then there was this guy in the restaurant named Henry, the fisherman, who basically is Ava's brother, but he was trapped there. He's a ghost. He's like this creepy guy. But he tries to help Marie out. The problem is he ends up getting killed by the tentacle monster because he is hen-tied to that island. Gross. And then And then she tries to escape. The bridge guy stops her. And the bridge guy basically takes her back because he says, no, you need to see what the fuck's going on here. And also the demon had taken over George and basically said, oh, this island's beautiful. I was scared, but now I'm not. I promise you it's good, for the greater good. So, yeah, she can't convince the bridge man, the ferryman basically, to let her go. So he takes her back. And then she sees her mother's ghost. And then she goes out and sees her mother go to the ocean, where there's a shadow of Lord Cthulhu. I mean, it's very brief, but it's Lord fucking Cthulhu, I'm just saying. And then she's possessed. So now she's part of the island. Then we see an epilogue. And I swear I knew the blonde in the epilogue, but couldn't fucking place her. Marie lives there now. She owns a flower shop, and the woman says, oh, I wish we could stay here. Oh, no, don't say that. Don't say that. You don't want to stay here. And then that's it. She owns a flower shop, and she is stuck there forevermore to fulfill the pact. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty obvious that's where they were going. She was going to end up being stuck there. It was a fun enough trip. I'll give it a B+, because it's good and atmospheric, has some good acting. It avoids an A just because it treaded too much familiar ground, but I will absolutely say that you should check this out. And maybe your mileage may vary. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Reitland. I'll see you soon.